Hey, we're back, everyone, with James Smallwood, the president of the Fraternal Order of Police here in Middle Tennessee in Nashville. We appreciate your phone calls, and let's get right back to those calls. We don't want to keep folks waiting. And our friend Ann is waiting online, too. Hi, Ann.
Yes, good evening. Last week, I held a sign that was 4 feet across and 2 feet wide that said, "Remove Chief Anderson." And I held it outside the courthouse steps. It was rather large, and it was quite cumbersome. It was the first time I'd left my house in almost 3 months, but I felt compelled to do it as a 63-year-old white woman who's been going to Community Oversight Board meetings and sparring with you, Mr. Smallwood, on open line for 2 years because the chief of police has been disrespecting the Community Oversight Now and Community Oversight Board for over 2 years. Before I left that plaza, I had 3 police officers thank me for holding that sign because they could not speak out against their police chief. The morale is low, yes. We are 160 officers short, not because of funding, but because of morale. Yes, we need dialogue, and there's a softer James Smallwood sitting right there on that TV screen tonight. The first time I've ever seen the softer James Smallwood, and you got your funding from the mayor last night, and you'll have your funding for the next however long till the millions run out. But the citizens of Davidson County deserve more. We've been asking for open dialogue for 3, 4, 10 years. And we deserve it from the chief of police, we deserve it from the police department, and we deserve it from the mayor. Now, you speak to the citizens of Davidson County.
All right, Ann, thank you for the phone call. What do you have to say, James?
Well, Ann, thank you for exercising your First Amendment right. Thank you for getting out there and having your voice heard. That's what law enforcement is all about, making sure that everybody's rights are protected, that they can do so peacefully. And you did just that. So thank you for being a good community member. Looks like you got your wish. I hear that Chief Anderson's retirement was announced today. As far as dialogue goes, my door is open at any time. If you ever want to have a conversation with me or anybody here at our office to discuss the issues that the community is facing, we're readily available to do that. I would say I don't think that it's a fair assessment to say that Chief Anderson has been disrespectful to the Community Oversight Board. I think there has been a breakdown in communication on both sides, and I think there's been some very unfair representations of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department and accusations on Chief Anderson as it relates to the Community Oversight Board. But I don't want to get into a whole lot of back and forth on that. I think what is important is we continue as a community to have dialogue, to have conversations, and to have fact-based conversations, that we don't allow rhetoric to take hold.
And I will say this, James, and not to just to piggyback on what you're saying, and I hope I don't get in Ann's crosshairs for saying this, because I love the fact that she is involved and is out there, like you said, expressing her First Amendment rights as a journalist. I'm all for that. And going and being involved with the Community Oversight Board, but it is a relatively new concept to policing in Nashville, this board, this COB, and as we've been reporting, there have been issues, there have been kind of stumbles along the way, but it seems to be improving gradually, slower than some people would like, but it is still a relatively new board and body, and the communicator. There's a lot to be ironed out, but I believe that it's going to happen. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think it will. But again, I think it comes back to being fair and impartial. And unfortunately, there's certainly some members on that board that are not fair and impartial. Members on that board that are calling to defund the police, who have exposed their bias, that they no longer want police officers on the street. So that's a huge concern for the members of the FOP, and it should be for anybody in the community. Yeah, we're great with people looking at what we do and reviewing and making recommendations. That's fine, but we need fairness and we need impartiality. And we're not sparring; we're having conversations. And I welcome you to reach out. We can have a conversation any day that you would like to.
And she did mention the budget this week. Despite all of these calls to defund the police, not only did the police department get what it asked for, it actually got some additional dollars, I understand, for obviously to fully fund the body camera program, which has been stalled and delayed and for quite a while, but now it looks like that is going to happen and be fully implemented, which I think most people agree it needs to happen. And then also I think there was money in there for police helicopters as well. You're obviously happy with that and happy that the council approved that money.
Yeah, anybody that says we need to defund the police, I question the reason in that. I certainly understand the need and the desire for us to fund community services like mental wellness and other critical services that could serve the community, that would take some burdens off the police department and officers. Frankly, when other programs are defunded, police officers become the dumping ground for the resolution of those issues. So yeah, we should be funding other community services to take that burden off of law enforcement, but we should not be robbing Peter to pay Paul to defund the police so that we can do that. We need to find the resources and spend them appropriately. Certainly having the money to actually pay for the employees that were already on our budget is important. That wasn't additional funding for the police department. It was funding to make sure that we were whole. For years, we've had numbers of employees on our budget and the city was not funding it. Right. And I think it was the responsibility of the mayor to come in and say, look, if we're going to say they can have 1,500 officers, we need to make sure they can actually afford it when they do. And that's what he did. Helicopters, we're flying Vietnam era helicopters. We don't need our helicopters dropping out of the sky. That puts our officers at danger, it puts our community at danger. It's time to replace our old and dilapidated equipment, and that's what they did.
And real quick, before we get back to the calls, the news that Chief Anderson, after I think more than 40 years on the police force, about a decade as chief, he's going to step down and retire. So this is an opening, a big pivot point for the police department. Do you think the mayor should look at someone within the department or someone from outside with maybe fresh eyes?
I think it's important that we find the best candidate, and we shouldn't box ourselves into saying we should have a candidate from inside or outside or from a certain demographic. I think it's important that we analyze all the candidates that are interested. We find the absolute best candidate to lead the police department that can help us move forward as a community.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines, and Evelyn is on line 3. Hi, Evelyn, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Go ahead.
I support our police department 100%.
All right. Thank you.
And I think
Thank you, Evelyn.
rally is not worth fooling with. The Black Lives Matter, the reason I think that is because they kill each other and they don't say nothing.
All right, Evelyn.
But
anything else?
That's what I would. And I just want to say that I support them 100%. I pray for them every night. And I think the police officers don't need to be defunded. They don't need that.
Right.
They need their money to do things they got to do with.
Thank you, Evelyn. We do appreciate the phone call. I'm going to try to get one more in before the next break, and that is Shelley. Hi, Shelley. Go ahead. Shelley, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's on your mind tonight?
Okay, couple things. One, I want to say thank you for your service in protecting us. Without you guys, obviously we wouldn't be safe. Secondly, I completely disagree with the officer, Mr. Smallwood. I do not agree that we need to defund the police in any type of way. The reason why I'm saying that is the people who are for defunding the police are either A, jobless and just want to be heard in any type of way that they can be heard. Secondly, is people who have pockets full of money, people that live in gated communities and don't have to worry about it. People like myself need the police. We need protection, no matter what cost it is. They put their lives on the line every single day to keep us safe, protected, no matter what the situation is, whether it's a speeding car or somebody's robbing somebody. It doesn't matter. They're there to protect us. If you defund the police, who's going to be there to protect us? Nobody. If you defund the police, we may have, like you said, 1,500 police officers. Okay, well, they may be on another call, and if somebody's breaking into my house, or my house is burning down, or there's a bad wreck, it's going to take them 30 minutes to get an officer across town. That's not okay. And as far as the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, I absolutely understand where they are coming from, but where is the white-on-white crime, the black-on-black crime? Where is the Hispanics on white crime or black crime? It needs to change as a whole, not just as one group. That is what I have to say.
All right, Shelley.
That's how I feel about it.
We appreciate you calling in to share your opinion, and we've got other callers who are doing just that, but you're going to have to wait just a moment. We have some business to do. We'll be back in just a short bit.